Alright, good morning everybody. This is Jason McCumsey from Redbeard Rebuilding coming to you. So in general, nothing to report personal wise. Last night there was the Thaddeus Stevens College athletic banquet, athletic program, however you want to say that. It's just a short little thing that they always do to recognize some of their players. I've been helping out there with their throws team ever since I left since I graduated back in like 2007. So they let me come yesterday. Maggie was really good. She didn't made everybody happy as usual. She didn't do too much crying, so that was always a positive. But today we're going to be taking care of the Hornet for the custom Javelin that we're doing. So I cheated. Yesterday I went through and took all the tape off. I have a video of it here that we'll post in. But I wanted to make sure that he wanted it because I knew it was either going to be a bomb or a bust. I wasn't quite sure. So I didn't want to just go through and do a clear coat today on a Javelin that he didn't want. Because obviously I'd have to break it all back down and sand it and start over on project number 2. So what we're going to do here is go through. I think I'm going to post that clip in, and then we're going to come back, and then we're going to make the clear, spray it, and then hopefully later today we can just give you a full shot of it being in clear. A lot of times on the camera they don't pick up the metallics as well because the Javelin is such a small diameter. Like compared to a car, you don't see it as well through a camera. But I always like to make sure when you are up close and personal that it's cool looking and it shimmers like crazy if you want it to. Just to show you, I don't know. You can kind of get the shimmer off of that, but that's only like half of what you'll actually see on the Javelin if I use that. This is kind of a color shift that it says bronze shimmer, but you kind of get like a color shift to it. See if I can not make a mess and do this. I guess we can't really get it off. This is a powder. You can kind of sort of get it there. Thought I saw my flashlight. Let's see, where's the camera at? Now you can get that a little better. See if this one shows up any different. Kind of think I got too much light. Yeah. Anyway, you guys get the idea. I like to make them shimmer. I like to make them shiny. Glitter on the other end is something completely different than metallic powders and additives. Please understand that. Glitter is not the same thing. Glitter is big pieces compared to this. I have done one in glitter, and I had to clear coat it like 3 times to make it smooth. So we're not doing glitter unless you ask me to. Otherwise you'll just get my shimmers and my sparklies and metallics. So alright, let's fast forward into that clip. You guys can watch me tear it down and get all the tape off, and we'll come back here, we'll mix the clear and get in the booth. This is Jason McCumsey coming to you again. I didn't feel like waiting till tomorrow, and I have to wait for some paint to dry. So I thought I'd come back to this and try to take it down, or take all the tape off and see what we get. So, let's see if I can get my camera to stay where I want it to. Now, you guys obviously won't be able to see some of the coloring that I can see, but the yellow has, the black has some really cool metallic look to it. So I'm really happy about that. So we're just gonna go through. Tape not stick to our fingers. Slowly take our time and peel. Alright guys, so that was the clip of me tearing everything down and getting all the tape off. And I sent it off to the boss man. He seems to like it. He said it was cool. So we're going to stick with it and we're going to get some clear coat on it. So I've got the actual clear coat in a cup here. Let's see if we can... Sadly, I can't make my tripod and my cell phone work together and look directly into the cup. So what we're going to kind of do is just do it right here. Hold on, I need a mixing stick. Alright, I got a mixing stick. Alright, so we're going to start with the bronze to give it a little bit of a darker shimmer, but I'm not going to put too much of this in. You know, just a little bit. I don't want to darken it too much. And then this is just sparkling glass. And honestly, it just looks like a bunch of little stars, and I just got it on me. But you need to put a little more of that in there. Get it off of me. Nothing unusual, but and then this one is called Crystal Silver Effects. Now the bad thing is about this one is that this one's not made anymore, or if it is, it uses a different code. So I can't like say, hey, use 1020s of Chromax and you'll get this, because the reason I have it is because it is no longer being used or is under a different code number, and I was able to get it for a discount because of that. So don't go asking me, hey, which one did you use? I'm like, well, this is what it was called. So we're gonna use our fancy spoon here to get a little bit out of there and dump it in there. This time without making a giant mess all over my table. I really need to get a specific spoon and just keep it in my box. So let's give things a little mix here. Just enough to show you guys what we're able to do, and then we'll give it a good final shake up. Because what I'm going to be able to do with this little mixing stick isn't half of what it needs to be shaken up. Because we're going to end up with some clumps, but that'll go away once I give it a good shake. That. Let's see what we can do here. Yeah, if this doesn't come through, I'm definitely going to do it on the other camera angle. So, alright guys, so here's a different camera angle. Let's see where my stick went. And of course, I'm trying to do this without covering it up by the light. As you can tell, there's still some clumpiness in there. I got to shake and get it out. Plus the filter will take all that out if I don't. But there you go. That is what we're going to be putting on top of the Javelin. You can really get that sparkle on the stick once with watching it move. It's cool stuff. So, all right, guys. Obviously, we're in here in the booth now. I got my LPH 300. Got the clear coat inside there. I don't see anything on the bottom of the cup, so we're all shooken up. Obviously, you guys aren't really going to be able to see much of what I'm doing because it's the clear coat. But I'll let you watch anyway. We're gonna get it on, let it dry for a couple hours, and then hope we'll be able to take it outside. It's supposed to be nice, around like 75, something like that. So hopefully it'll be nice and sunny. I'll be able to at least get some of that sparkle look on there for you. But I gotta say, I like doing special jobs like this. We got another one coming up here soon for Scott Crawl, who was a great coach in this area. If you go back to one of my other videos, I talk a little bit about how Scott's influence on me is, especially now with high school kids. So I think it's awesome that I get to do a javelin in memory of him. It's going to be a display piece for up at the Calico High School. But that'll be to come. We'll work on that one a little later. We're still working on some design ideas and what they think will be best. So hopefully they'll let me put a little bit of my tidbit in there and make it look like a pretty cool piece for them. But sometimes guys don't know what they want, or they just know colors and they want to say, hey, do this, or hey, do that. Try this. I'm like, I'll try anything you want once. If it works, great, I'll try it again. If it doesn't work, then hey, we know it doesn't work. So, you guys ever have any ideas for your own personal javelins? Let's throw them together. Or, if you're really on the risky side, do the trash can. Because the trash can is just telling me to use up any old paints that I have to make a design that I want. And if it ends up being cool, then I keep it. If it doesn't, then I'll restart and try it again. But it's never just the typical something. You always have like 3 or 4 colors in there, or a spiral or 2, and something like that is always fun to do. So let's finish this one up. Let's get some clear on it, and then hopefully this weekend we can get a grip on it, and we'll go from there. So let's get the camera looking where it needs to go. I'm going to try and do a zoom out version here. Hopefully the phone doesn't fall off. But obviously there is a full look of the Javelin. likely going to put on a second regular coat of clear without all the metallic in it, just because it has all those all the striping and all the lines. What happens is you'll be able to feel it as you run your hand down the javelin, and if he does end up using this for competition rather than just for show, some of the judges can be a little specific about that. I don't feel like crouching down anymore. So what's going to happen, and I do this a lot on javelins that do spirals, is I'll come through and I'll just lightly sand it and come through over top of it, like I said, with another just regular clear coat, nothing in it. So that way the sparkle is always going to be there, it's underneath, and then everything else is on the outside to protect it. So 2 coats of clear on most javelins. If they don't need it, then I really don't bother. It's really all about texture. If you know javelins, back, so still with the old rules javelins, I don't remember the exact year that they tried to do this, but what they did was they made the javelin textured. They called it the sandpaper javelin. And if you ever watched Mythbusters, they did a show where they took a car and put dimples in it, like a golf ball. And it had amazing gas mileage because of the way the wind resistance was and everything scientific like that. Same thing happened with that javelin. It shot out like a rocket from the guy's hand and went crazy. And then they realized that the texture helped. So obviously they now don't want texture. They're even, depending on where you go and how big the meat is, they get kind of specific on where the dents are in your javelin from wherever it landed and got one. You know, they almost want you to have a perfect javelin for a competition. So when it comes to something like this, when I have to paint javelins for competition, I need to make sure they don't have texture and it's just nice, clear, and smooth. Obviously, you're going to get something, and you know, if you throw it and it lands on another javelin or it hits a rock or something, it's going to chip. It's not perfect, but at least then it's something you can, you know, the judge will be able to notice. It's not something I did in the paint where they can be like, hey, this is wrong. So, you know, the same thing goes if I put paint on the head. You know, I try to put something on the head to give it some extra protection from rust and stuff like that. I can't put like a truck bed coating on it, which has a texture. That's illegal. Luckily, I asked questions before I did that one. So, like I said, give this time to dry, give it a quick sand. Now we're not taking a lot off, just taking that extra texture off, and then recoat it with a regular coat of clear. So yeah, that's what we got. Hopefully we'll be back here. It's not going to be in this video. It'll probably be in the next one, or a little tidbit on Instagram or something like that, just to try to show it off a bit. But stay safe, throw far, take care of yourselves, take care of each other.